Christmas hasn't always been about shopping and fancy lights. Imagine a time when families huddled around the fire telling ghost stories, or when carolers sang in exchange for a drink. Long before the holiday turned into what it is today, Christmas was full of magical, sometimes spooky, and always interesting traditions. Let's explore a few forgotten customs, like Yule logs, wassailing, and Victorian parlor games, and how we can bring them back to make the holiday feel extra special again. 1. Yule logs, more than just a cake. What it was, the Yule log tradition goes back to ancient times, where people would burn a huge log during the winter solstice. It was meant to celebrate the return of the sun after the long, dark winter. The ashes from the Yule log were even saved, as people believed they had magical powers to protect the home. Why it faded. As homes stopped using large fireplaces and shifted to modern heating, the tradition of burning a Yule log became harder to keep. Instead, it turned into a cake, Bûche de Noël, which still keeps the spirit of the Yule log, but in a much smaller form. How to bring it back. Bonfires. You could gather with friends and neighbors to light a bonfire in honor of the Yule log. Decorative logs. Use a small log as a table centerpiece, decorated with candles and greenery to keep the old spirit alive. 2. Wassailing. Singing for cider. What it was. Wassailing was a fun tradition in medieval England where groups of people would visit houses, singing and offering a bowl of warm, spiced cider in exchange for food or a gift. In the countryside, people also sang to the apple orchards to ensure a good harvest the following year. Why it faded. As Christmas became more about peaceful family time, the lively and rowdy wassailing tradition faded. People no longer lived as closely to farms and orchards, so the tradition didn't make sense in urban life. How to bring it back. Wassail parties. You could host a fun wassail-themed party with warm, spiced cider and Christmas carols. Orchard events. In rural areas, try hosting a wassail gathering in an orchard where people sing for a good harvest and enjoy the cider. 3. Victorian parlor games. Family fun. What it was. In the Victorian era, Christmas was all about family gatherings filled with fun games. Games like Snapdragon, where people would try to grab raisins from a bowl of flaming brandy, were popular along with charades and playful dares. These games were perfect for getting everyone involved and having a laugh. Why it faded. With the rise of television and video games, people started spending their Christmas time differently. The simple fun of these old games got lost in the mix of more passive entertainment. How to bring it back. Family game nights. Bring back some of these old games. Play Snapdragon safely with LED lights, or organize a Christmas-themed charades game that gets everyone laughing. 4. Ghost stories at Christmas. A little spooky fun. What it was. Before Christmas was all about happiness and cheer, telling ghost stories by the fire was a popular tradition. This custom was especially big in Victorian times, and even Charles Dickens embraced it in his famous A Christmas Carol. The chilly winter nights made ghost stories a perfect way to add some mystery to the holiday. Why it faded. As the holiday became more focused on family and joy, the spooky side of Christmas faded away, and people stopped telling ghost stories. How to bring it back. Ghost Story Night. Why not have a cozy ghost story night during the holidays? Gather around the fireplace and share a spooky tale or two, whether it's a classic or a new story set in winter. Final thoughts. These forgotten traditions may have faded over time, but they're far from lost. Reviving old customs like the Yule log, wassailing, Victorian games, and ghost stories could make Christmas feel more magical and memorable. It's a chance to add depth to the holiday and connect with a past that's rich in creativity and fun. Join us next time on Histo Faith as we share more stories of courage, wisdom, and faith. Until then, remember that the legends of history still speak to us today, guiding us towards a better future. That if you have not subscribed, like, comment, and share, because you may not see me again, and we are increasing every day.